The wind howled through the trees as rain poured down in heavy sheets, hammering against the windows of Daniel's small home on the edge of town. Inside, the single father was tucking his sleepy 6-year-old daughter, Lily, into bed. "Don't worry, sweetheart," he whispered. "You're safe and warm." Just as he turned off the light, a faint sound reached his ears, something between a whimper and a knock. He paused, his brow furrowed. It came again, soft but urgent. Grabbing his coat, Daniel stepped onto the porch. The storm hit him like a wave, but there, in the dim glow of the porch light, he saw her. A girl no older than 14, soaked to the bone, clutching a thin blanket around her shoulders. Her eyes were wide, scared, and tired beyond her years. I am sorry," she stammered, backing away. "I just needed somewhere dry." Daniel hesitated for a moment, heart tightening. She was just a child. "You can't stay out in this storm," he said gently. "Come inside. You're safe here." She looked uncertain, as if kindness was something she hadn't known in a long time. Slowly, she stepped forward. He guided her in, handing her a towel and warm clothes Lily had outgrown. "What's your name?" he asked. She paused, then whispered, "Emily." Daniel smiled softly. "I'm Daniel. That's my daughter, Lily. She's asleep now, but she'll be happy to meet you." As the storm raged outside, the three of them, though one still silent in slumber, had already begun writing a new story together. A story born on a stormy night, with a knock at the door and an unexpected chance for hope. Emily sat stiffly at the kitchen table, her eyes darting nervously around the warm, modest room. Steam rose from a bowl of soup in front of her, the scent of chicken and herbs filling the air. Daniel watched her from across the table, not pressuring her to eat, just waiting patiently. "You don't have to be afraid," he said softly. "No one's going to hurt you here." Emily lowered her eyes, gripping the spoon like it might disappear if she let go. Slowly, she dipped it into the soup and brought it to her lips. The first taste made her pause. It was warm, comforting, something she hadn't felt in a long time. She ate quietly, but Daniel noticed her hands tremble. He busied himself cleaning up, giving her space. Lily, still fast asleep upstairs, had no idea a stranger had entered their world. After finishing, Emily looked around as if trying to understand what came next. "You're not calling the police?" she asked hesitantly. Daniel shook his head. "Not unless you want me to. I just want to help." Her lips parted in surprise. Most people didn't ask what she wanted, they decided for her. "You can sleep on the couch tonight," he continued. "It's not much, but it's warm, and you'll be safe." Emily nodded slowly. She hadn't felt safe in months, maybe longer. That night, as she curled under a soft blanket on the couch, she stared at the ceiling, heart beating steadily for the first time in ages. In the quiet of the house, with the scent of soap and soup still lingering, Emily felt something shift inside her. A stranger had offered her food and kindness, not because he had to, but because he chose to. And that choice lit a small spark of trust. Morning sunlight streamed through the curtains, casting a golden glow across the living room. Emily sat quietly on the edge of the couch, hugging her knees as Lily chatted cheerfully beside her, showing off her favorite stuffed animals. Daniel watched from the kitchen, letting them bond naturally. Emily didn't say much, but the tightness in her shoulders had eased, just a little. Later that afternoon, as Lily napped, Daniel found Emily sitting alone in the backyard, her eyes distant, fixed on a birdbath. The silence between them stretched until she finally spoke. "My mom left when I was 10, she said, voice barely above a whisper. "She said she'd come back, but she never did." Daniel sat beside her without saying a word. "I bounced between relatives for a while, but none of them wanted me. Then the system took over. Foster homes, shelters. I stopped counting after the fourth one." She picked at the edge of her sleeve, eyes stinging. They always said I was too quiet, too much trouble. So I left. Figured being on my own couldn't be worse. Daniel's heart broke as he listened. No child should have to feel that unwanted. You've been through a lot, he said gently. But you're not too much. Not here. Emily glanced at him, eyes searching his face for any sign of pity or judgment. There was none, only understanding. I'm not used to people listening, she admitted. Or caring. Well, he said with a soft smile, maybe it's time that changed. For the first time, a small tear slid down her cheek, not from fear, but from relief. In that backyard, beneath the quiet afternoon sky, Emily began shedding the weight of silence she'd carried for years. And Daniel silently promised she'd never carry it alone again. The days that followed unfolded like petals after rain, slow, unsure, but full of promise. Emily remained quiet at first, always cautious, always watching. But Lily, with her boundless energy and pure heart, didn't notice the walls Emily kept up. She simply saw a new friend. One morning, Daniel found the two girls sprawled across the living room floor, building a fort out of pillows and blankets. Lily giggled as Emily helped drape a sheet over the chairs. This is the royal castle, Lily declared, handing Emily a paper crown she had made. You're the brave princess. Emily stared at the crown, unsure how to react. But Lily's eyes sparkled with such joy that Emily couldn't help but smile, shy, but real. Daniel stood in the doorway, watching them. It was the first time he'd seen Emily smile like that. That night, he set 3 plates on the dinner table instead of 2. Emily hesitated before sitting down. You don't have to do all this, she murmured. Daniel smiled gently. You're part of this family now. And families eat together. Lily nodded enthusiastically, passing the mashed potatoes with tiny hands. Daddy says everyone gets a seat at the table. The warmth of the room, the laughter, the aroma of food, it was all so unfamiliar to Emily. But instead of feeling like an outsider, she felt something else, included. Seen. They talked, laughed, and even argued about whether chocolate or vanilla ice cream was superior. For the first time in a long time, dinner wasn't just a meal. It was connection. Belonging. As Emily helped clear the dishes, she caught her reflection in the window. For the first time in years, she didn't see a lost girl. She saw someone finding her place, one plate, one laugh, one moment at a time. Weeks had passed, and the house that once echoed with only Lily's laughter now felt fuller, warmer. Emily had slowly unfolded like spring after a long winter, her eyes brighter, her shoulders no longer hunched with fear. She helped pack Lily's school lunches, read bedtime stories with Daniel, and even started leaving her shoes by the door, a small gesture, but one that meant she was no longer planning to run. One evening, Daniel sat at the kitchen table, papers spread out before him. He looked up as Emily walked in, wiping flour from her hands after baking cookies with Lily. There's something I want to talk to you about, he said gently, motioning for her to sit. She hesitated, heart pounding. Old fears rose again. Was this the end? Had she stayed too long? I've been talking to a lawyer, Daniel continued. And to child services. I want to become your legal guardian. Only if you want that too. Emily stared at him, stunned. You want to keep me? Daniel smiled. Not keep. Choose. I want you to know this home, this family, is yours too. Tears welled up in her eyes. No one's ever chosen me before. From the hallway, Lily peeked in, holding her favorite stuffed bear. You're already my sister, she said proudly. Emily covered her mouth, overwhelmed by emotion. For the first time, she felt like she wasn't just being helped, she was being loved. That night, they celebrated with laughter and warm cookies, no candles or cake, but plenty of joy. Emily sat beside Daniel and Lily on the couch, her heart full. She had once wandered through storms, abandoned and forgotten. But now, she was home. Because sometimes, family isn't who you're born to. Sometimes, family is who you choose, and who chooses you back.